Hello everyone, welcome to Aptera Owners Club. In this video, I just wanted to let you guys in on some news of a trip I'm planning to go down and visit the Aptera headquarters and things I'm hoping to film and some questions I'm hoping to get answered and give you guys an opportunity to give suggestions on other things that we might want to film or other questions we might want to ask. And also, reminder to everyone that we have a Discord channel. The link is in the description. So if you want to join the other members of our community in the Discord channel, there's some good conversations going on over there. And from time to time, we'll have some podcast style meetings as we get more people and some more involvement. Okay. So I have a day off of work coming up in the next week or so, and so I'm trying to arrange it with Aptera for me to be able to visit them, and they've been very kind and working with me to try to figure out things that we can do, and so hopefully that visit will happen sometime next week. And here's the things that I am planning to try to film, and these are just kind of a wish list. I don't know that we'll be able to film all of these things. I mean, most likely not. They're a startup. There's a lot of things that they want to protect, and they need to protect their image and their PR. So I think that they've been very nice and wanting to work with me. And so we'll see what we're allowed to film, but I'm going to try to film as much as stuff possible, both for you guys' benefit and for my own curiosity, because I'm, as an investor and a reservation holder, I'm very curious about how things are going too. So here's the things I'm wanting to film. I want to know how the build out of the production facility is going. Now, in the virtual investor conference, the timeline said that they weren't really going to build out the facility until late spring, early summer. So maybe there's not a lot going on in the production facility right now. And so if that's the case, there might not be that much film, but if they let me film whatever's in there, even if it's just an empty room, I will definitely do that and ask them questions about how it's going to be arranged. Ideally, I'd like to get a ride in both the Alpha and the Beta vehicle. I think a ride in the Alpha vehicle is very likely. I think that a ride in the Beta vehicle is fairly unlikely, but if I could get a ride, that would be awesome, because then I could tell you guys like what the differences in the suspension felt like and things like that. Obviously, the one Beta vehicle they have is a shell and is mainly a test of the suspension and performance, but it would be interesting to see what the braking and accelerating performance and maybe some of the handling differences are between the Alpha and the Beta. That would be great. I'm really hoping that'll happen, but I'm not sure. It would be nice to get a demonstration of where the jacking points on the vehicle are and how the tires are changed, because a lot of people are still confused about how tires are changed with the hub motors. I mean, we know it's essentially the same and it shouldn't be that much different, but we're not real sure where the jacking points on the vehicle are. And so if they could give us a demonstration of that, that would be pretty awesome. I personally would like to lay down in the back of the Aptera to see if it's feasible for someone to just sleep back there without the tent and just have with the hood closed. I'm about 5'11", and so I'm a fairly average sized person. And so if we'll see how much more space there is after I lay down there. So that's something that's interesting. There was some talk of a storage space underneath the trunk, and so I'm hoping that maybe I can film some of that. And then I just want to do a really detailed inside and outside walk around of both the Alpha and the Beta vehicles. I'm pretty sure they'd be fine with me doing a walk around of the Alpha vehicles. Plenty of people have done that. If I could get a walk around of the Beta vehicles, that would be even better. And if any new Beta vehicles that are being built, I'm pretty sure they're not going to let me film that stuff, because they want to be the first ones to release new information like that. So and that's completely understandable. All right, so here's the questions that I'm going to ask them, and they may answer a few of these or maybe half of these. I seriously doubt they're going to answer all of these. Most of these things are probably things that they haven't even finalized the decision for, so they may not be able to give an answer. So we know that there's not going to be a third seat. I was hoping if there's some space there's some storage space under the trunk, and I could like maybe cut the trunk floor and bolt in an aftermarket third seat. A third seat would be very helpful for me. So we'll see if there's any space for that. I really think that a dash cam Sentry mode would be really good for the Aptera for multiple reasons. One is the Aptera is very unique, and when it's parked in a parking lot, people are going to gawk at it. People are going to walk around, and there's some people that may want to damage it, like key it or something like that. So one, I think for the people that are gawking at it, walking around, I think it'd be very entertaining to see the reactions of people to a parked Aptera. I think it would make great content, honestly. And it'd just be entertaining for all the owners of Apteras to see people's reactions to a parked Aptera. I'm sure people are going to give serious looks to them. And just as a security feature, for people that are, for whatever reason triggered by it, they may want to damage it, and it would be nice to have a dash cam Sentry mode. I'm really going to push pretty hard for that, and hopefully they do implement it. They have the hardware. The software shouldn't be that hard to do, so I think it's a fairly easy thing to do and probably pretty important. It would be nice to know how easy it is to remove the wheel pants and what is the approximate cost of replacing the wheel pants, because I think the wheel pants are going to get damaged. When you do parallel parking, I think it's fairly easy to scuff up the wheel pants against the curb. I definitely scuff my wheels against the curb on regular cars. So if the wheels are going to get scuffed, the wheel pants are definitely going to get scuffed. And there's a decent chance that when people park, they may hit your wheel pants. And so I think wheel pant damage is a legitimate concern, and ideally it should be something that's fairly easy to replace and fairly inexpensive to replace. And then I wanted to know if they had thoughts about putting a programmable happy horn. And that is like, I don't know if you guys seen this Mark Rober video about a happy horn. He basically has a little button on his that he rigged up in his car that makes like a very happy, like toot toot sound, instead of like an angry horn, because most of the time he's using his horn, he's just telling people, oh, the light turned green or something, and he didn't want a really aggressive sounding horn that might upset some people. So I thought that would be kind of a fun thing for the Aptera to have. I mean, that's not really that important, but if they get it, I think it'd be cool. I wanted to see what their thoughts on using lithium iron phosphate batteries on the smaller range Aptera were. I think that lithium iron phosphate batteries are just better for a lot of reasons. They're cheaper, they're environmentally a little bit more friendly, and you can charge them to full and deplete them. That you can reuse more of they have more usable capacity. So there's many reasons to feel like they're better. I doubt that they're going to change that, and I definitely wouldn't want them to change that and delay the vehicle. That would be a bad idea. But just wanted to ask them their thoughts on that. How easy is it to replace the battery? Is the battery upgradable? Are they thinking of getting service agreements with some service shops like, I don't know, Pep Boys or, whatever, Midas? Or do they plan to have like a mobile tech that comes around in a van or something to help you if you're not able to do your own repairs? Are they building some strap down points in the trunk? With such a long trunk, I think it'd be nice to have strap down points. There's MC4 plugs that you can attached to solar panels for additional charging. For like, you could carry some extra solar panels and put them out when you're camping or boondocking, or just want extra solar charging. So it'd be nice to have some plugs that allow that. I also would like cup holders that are big enough to hold giant water bottles, like thermo flasks and other like of these like really big water bottles that are very common these days. My wife always has a giant water bottle in the car, and it does not fit in any of the normal cup holders. And so it'd be nice if Aptera just put in some giant cup holders. I think a lot of people use these big water bottles these days. Wanted to revisit the naked composite paint wrap question. It sounded like they were thinking about adding pigment to the composite, which I think is the ideal situation. If they could make a composite that is UV resistant and just put a fairly neutral a pigment into it, like silver or off-white or something, that I think that would be ideal. Are they planning on making it be able to do tank turns? Because that's possible with the hub motors. Do the Elafe hub motors have aluminum brake rotors? Because you shouldn't need really to use the brakes too much because the hub motors can regen so much. So you could get away with like aluminum brake rotors as opposed to steel rotors, and that would save some weight, which would help. I assume they've already done this. Are they going to have a spare tire option? Maybe some storage under the trunk space for the spare tire? And then again, ask them exactly what configurations we made first, and how do the various configurations affect delivery? Like, does the all-wheel drive, is that going to push you back quite a bit? If that's the case, I may change my order from an all-wheel drive to just a two-wheel drive. And like, how much does the geographic location affect delivery? I don't know if they've even thought of those things. I want to know who's going to do the crash testing and how many tests are planned. Are they going to do the full gamut? Because if they do the full gamut of testing, that's going to be several vehicles that are going to need to be crash tested. And then what is the projected timeline for when a final production prototype will be ready? I think they said like late summer or something, so I maybe reiterate that. And then just ask them like what part of the vehicles have been finalized and which part are being tweaked. I'm assuming that the body shape and the materials are obviously finalized. They know what composite they're going to use. Suspension, I think, is fairly close to being finalized. Battery systems, I'm guessing, are finalized. The tire size, what seats are they going to use? Is the crank software interface, is that their final iteration, or are they going to tweak that some more? What are the things that are still up in there? What are the things that they've just kind of nailed down? Hopefully, they've nailed down a lot of things because they need to get close to production soon. They have several, even if they started building the final production prototype now, it would take them, I think a month or two to build the thing. So I think they should be fairly close to that. Anyways, those are the things that I'm planning on doing. If you have some other ideas for questions you would like to ask or things that it would be nice to film, please put them in the comments below. And if at all possible, I will try to do them. As long as Aptera is amenable to it. They've been very generous, and I think that they are going to let me film as much as they are comfortable with, and I will definitely, let you guys, we'll make videos, and you guys will see everything that I see. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and thanks for your suggestions in the comments.